Okay, real talk. How many of us have started a writing goal in January full of hope and motivation, only to blink and it's November? And the goal? Still not done. Yeah. That's why I want to share something that seriously shifted how I think about time, focus, and writing momentum. The 12-week year, and how I'm turning it into a full author success system. And if you stick around, I'll tell you more about it. If you're new here, I'm Nicole, an author coach, publishing executive, and someone who, like a lot of you, used to think annual goals were the gold standard. But I have a spoiler alert, they're not. The reason annual planning fails us is because a 12-month goal often makes us feel like we have a ton of time to make it happen. And so it lacks urgency. So we delay. But a 12-week goal, that's like lighting a fire. Like when you're, I don't know, finishing your 10-page midterm paper the night before it's due. Do you remember that? So today we're diving into the 12-week year by Brian Moran. There's an excellent follow-up book to it called The 12-Week Year for Writers. I'm going to break down the core ideas and how you can apply them to your writing life, whether you're drafting, editing, querying, or marketing. Because you're going to need a more realistic plan other than, I'm going to write and publish my book. Okay. The big idea is this. Instead of thinking in 12-month cycles, what if you treated every 12 weeks like its own mini year? That's 3 months to laser in on one or two meaningful goals and execute like a boss. The book highlights 3 key areas: execution, accountability, and measurement, and how these things come together to create results, not dreams, results. And it does this by breaking the big structuralist goal of write a book into actions and timelines. We're going to go through the steps, but here's a high level preview of what this system or methodology does. It clarifies your vision and it increases the energy and motivation because it connects your daily actions with said vision through a 12-week plan. It makes you focus on the most important tactics necessary to reach your goals. And it creates a healthy sense of urgency and motivation because it's shortening your planning horizon to 12 weeks instead of 12 months. Got it? Okay. Let's start with step 1. Setting a vision and expanding your sense of possible. Why are you writing? How is this a net positive in your life? Are you fully understanding the opportunity cost that this will represent? When we're choosing to bet on ourselves, when we're choosing to say yes to our dream, that means saying no to something else. It does. And it's important that you prepare yourself for this level of commitment from the outset. You have to recognize that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. It's also important to set a vision that feels true to you. I speak to many authors who think they have to be or achieve a thing because that's what they see other authors doing, especially on social media. Their own sense of self or what success means as an author gets lost. So setting this vision is important and it serves as an emotional connector to the goal for you. And more importantly, it tells other people, like your coach, how to support you once you have that vision. You cannot skip it because the vision, I promise you, is the ultimate source of energy that you're going to need to carry you for 12 weeks. And for this, it's best to set an aspirational vision and a short-term vision. So for example, you could say, over the next 3 years, I will publish a series of sci-fi novels, and my long-term goal is to be an author full-time and teach writing workshops. My short-term is to have a very rough 60,000 word draft completed for book 1 in 12 weeks. Or if you're past the publishing stage, Your short-term goal may be oriented to growing your audience, social presence, newsletter subscribers, and just generally selling more books. Okay. Next, based on that short-term vision, we create priorities and structure for the 12 weeks. If it doesn't serve, it's got to go. What needs to happen in the next 12 weeks? Ask yourself that. And this is where I caution my overly optimistic authors. There should be achievable stretch goals, but not something that's going to really push you past your limits. That's not fun. If your 12-week goal is to expand your presence and fan base, you could structure 4 weeks for social media strategy, 4 weeks for newsletter strategy, and 4 weeks for collaborations or events and podcast appearances, for example. Or you could alternate weeks for serving different core areas of this short-term vision. It's limitless what you could do. So once you have a vision and understanding of what needs to happen by the end of the 12 weeks, then you zero in on what needs to happen every week. And the author calls this the model week. You create it based on your real and actual availability to complete your tasks. Okay, so one example could be research and outlining, or making a list of newsletter swap programs, or you have to hit a certain word count per day or per week. This is an important step because often this happens wherever you can squeeze it in due to the other priorities in your life. But this moment is asking you to step forward and step up. Carve the intentional time regularly. A lot of authors feel stressed or anxious when they're not writing if they think they're supposed to be. And I'm going to tell you something. There is a term for this. It's called stress laxing. And it's being stressed that relaxing is making you more stressed because you're not working on the thing that's making you stressed. Oh, the things we do to ourselves, right? Anyway, you can fix this by scheduling your writing time or marketing time or what have you, so that when you're supposed to be on the beach enjoying yourself, that's what you're going to be doing, enjoying. Always align your time with your plan every single week. Which brings me to this. As a coach, I kept thinking, my God, this is a great system. But it's missing one thing: real-time strategy and support. Because knowing what to do is one thing, but actually having a system, feedback, and consistent accountability, that's where real momentum happens. That's where it lives. Making a commitment to make a plan is very different than making a commitment to follow through, which is what this is. And honestly, this is the part of the process where most people fail and why I created the Strategic Author. It's a group program where I walk authors through this exact 12-week method, but it's customized to your goal, your schedule, your publishing path. You're not doing it alone. You're working alongside me and a cohort of authors who are just as focused as you are. What I love about a weekly accountability check-in, by the way, is this system allows us to quickly find what is working for you and do more of it, and then what's not working and stop doing that. So if we check in on week 2 and it turns out that morning writing is a disaster for you, then we pivot before we waste any more time. Listen, this is going to sound super controversial, but I believe authors are real humans with emotions, not robots. So setbacks and pivoting are just part of the process. It's not a matter of if you will hit a block, it's a matter of when. And when you meet weekly to review progress, identify challenges, brainstorm, measure outcomes, you become unstoppable. I created this offering because your book deserves more than vague someday energy. It deserves a real plan. Okay, here's a quick recap if you're taking notes, and I hope you are. Step one, pick one goal, not 5, for the 12 weeks. Step two, what needs to happen? What needs to be true at the end of the 12 weeks? And then break it into weekly milestones. So, for example, your week 1 could be research. Step 3, identify the tactics or steps that you have to take to meet those milestones. For example, research. So, in week 1, you have to find 3 books or articles on the topic you're researching and read them. Step 4, schedule your time on your calendar, not in your head. When are you going to sit down to find the articles? And then when are you going to schedule time to read them? Step 5, track your execution. I love a little habit tracker or weekly scorecard. If something worked well for you, make a note of that. And if it didn't hit the weekly goal, that is valuable data for you. Step 6, review weekly. Not to beat yourself up, but to learn and adjust and keep going. If you don't have a coach, find a reliable accountability partner that will 100% commit to this check-in with you every week for 12 weeks. And the beauty is you rinse and repeat. You can do as many 12-week cycles as you want for all kinds of different goals across your writing, publishing, and marketing journey. I want you to remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. You can start applying these ideas on your own today. And if you're the kind of person who thrives with structure, support, and a smart plan, then my coaching and the strategic author might be for you. You can find all the coaching info in the description, or you can go to my website, reignitewithnicole.com, and find out how you can work with me. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment if this episode got you fired up, and I'll see you next time on Writer Unblocked.